that process that refines you, man. Yeah, shit's gonna happen to you, but how are you gonna respond and deal with it? You know, because these things, what did it say? Somebody get Hebrews 12. Starting around 5. You can read, y'all got some other breakdown, but that chapter pretty straightforward.
I have a little bit more to it.
This Hebrews 5 and 12. When the time you ought to be teachers.
10 and 5?
10
12
and
and
5.
12
I'm here. Hebrews 12, and I'll start at 4. It says, "You have not resisted unto blood, striving against sin. You have forgotten the exhortation," it's like an exhortation, "which speaketh unto you as unto children, my son. Despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth."
He's enduring patiently, which means to suffer, right? He's going through it.
"And scourgeth every son whom he receiveth."
And usually, as he says in 2 Corinthians 16 chapter, the scourges for amendment too. So you can look at those things, but more so, sometimes it's just to get your attention. You may not be messing up, but you may, about to wander off course, or just to keep you on track, or you never know. But that's for you to figure out through the Spirit, because the Most High dealing with you personally on that. To examine yourself that way. You got it?
"If you endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. But what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not?"
Yep.
But if you
And
be...
because the people still gonna get that beating, but we get this chastening now. Okay, this is for chastening, while the other ones have to know it after death by pain, that major second death beating, man. To whip these badass kids into, back to good kids, man.
Yeah, we receive a beating for correction. To correct us, to keep us straight.
Yep.
These people are going to get a beating for not listening.
Yep.
It's a different whipping.
Yeah, it's different. Yep.
Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 22. "Therefore, whereas thou doest chasten us, thou scourgest our enemies 1,000 times more, to the intent that when we judge, we should carefully think of thy goodness, and when we ourselves are judged, we should look for mercy."
Yeah. So if you're doing the right thing, you can expect mercy to come. And how do we know if we're doing the right thing? Because the book outlines what the right things are. You got to get your whole mind, body, and soul over to that. And as unto a faithful creator. That he's going to execute the judgments of negativity on you, punishments, as well as the glory unto you too, and the mercies unto you.
Back in Hebrews 12 and 8, it says, "But if you be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they barely for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness."
And that was the point. But he for our profit, for our benefit. These things come for our benefit. Okay, and that's the point I wanted. You can read more if you want, but it says, but this is for our benefit. Okay, to go through these things. Okay?
"Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereof."
Hey, but read that last line again, but it yields the peaceable fruit
of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereof.
Yeah, why? Because you've learned to strip yourself down and just deal with the essentials of where your spirit is pure, where your focus and the tunnel vision is on the Most High through your Howard Shah.
Hey, Khan, only now as a man, like, we understand why as children, sometimes we got our ass whooped by our parents.
Yeah.
Because now we understand it was in order to keep us in a straight path, man.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I'm gonna be real about my quick testimony. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. I'm
Oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
No, you still
No,
speaking.
no, you go ahead. You good.
Quick testimony. I used to get whippings for stuff my cousins and sisters would do. You know? I was like, damn, I snitched. Why am I getting whooped? Well, it was to put fear in me also, and it kept me on that straight and narrow. I didn't bring no major situations. You know? And I know now that it used to piss me off, but I know now if it took that to get me to where I am today, hey, I'll take it. But it's the same type of thing in the spirit of Yahweh Shai Shai. He whoops us the same way. But we know if we don't, because what they were saying in my family, I don't know how deep in the world it was, but it said if you don't correct your son now, how's it go? If you don't correct him now, then prison will or something to that effect. Yeah, there's something about that. I forgot how it goes. But basically, it was like if you don't get a control of him, here's the one that my grandfather would use. It says, bend the sap while he's young, for when he's old, you can't do nothing but chop it down. So all of these analogies, he was pulling things out of church and whatever else, pastors or whatever, but that's the same point. Well, that's why we're getting corrected now, and we're from repentance, through the repentance and the fire of this trial, versus through the affliction of that noisome pestilence and that fire, that death by pain situation. You got something, brother? Yeah. You said a little more? Did you have a little more, brother?
No, I have precepts, but I'll let these.
Just real quick, backing up what you said. Revelation 3:19. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten.
Yep.
Be zealous thereof and repent.
Here it is. As I love, I chasten. I can't rebuke. It's for your correction. It's just these badass kids that don't 2/3 that don't want to get it. So they got to get that major ass whooping, man. And it's going to come with martial law, famine, pestilence, and ultimately, you take that Karago, you're going to get that beaten by fire, man.
Hey, see, the Lord's trying to whoop us away from burning the fuck out of us.
Yep.
It's like he's trying to whip you out of tasting of that his fiery wrath, his indignation. Jake,
didn't I tell you?
Yeah. But it's like, it's more so like, hey son, it ain't joyous to you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to make sure you don't feel this fire, man. Them, no matter how many times I whoop their ass, they're not gonna listen.
That was my sister.
They're getting worse and worse.
They're gonna get worse and worse. Why should you be strengthening anymore?
Literally, that was my sister. No matter how much she got whipped or punished, she was always had her mind on doing the wrong thing. It's just her name was an accident. I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. It was an accident, and it became a Hebrew word I saw for different. I won't tell y'all the word, but for different. That's what it meant. She was the one oddball that just wouldn't do right in the family.
This correction is to set us in order. To put us in order. I think the Lord said He would correct us and put us in order, something like that.
Correct us in measure, yeah.
So we're being corrected so that we might be set in the order that we need to be before Yahweh Shai Shai.
I got a picture. We were speaking about Job earlier, right? Now this is the blessings that Job received after he was chastised. Job 42, verse 12, and I'm going to read down his blessings. So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning. For he had 14,000 sheep and 6,000 camels and 1,000 yoke of oxen and 1,000 she-asses. Now imagine how much land you gotta have.
Right. Yeah, to have
to obtain those animals.
When he called his kids in at the very beginning of the book, they have to come from far off. They got servants and shit coming from far off, telling them what's going on. Hey, everybody just died, man. All your animals just died, all your kids just died. Damn, man. You got
verse 13. He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters. And he called the name of the first Jemima, and the name of the second Keziah, and the name of the third Karen Hapuch.
Where you at?
Job
42. Okay, go ahead.
And in all the land where no woman found so fair as the daughters of Job, and their father gave them inheritance among their brethren. And after this, Job lived 140 years old, and saw his sons and his sons' sons, even 4 generations. So Job died being old, full of days.
Well, he was long above, he said, what, 120? He exceeded that. Let alone the 80 and the 70. You know, he doubled the 70. You know, showing you that when you're righteous, man, the Most High will prolong your days. You know, and that's what we're fighting for, to be righteous, that will prolong our days through all the afflictions of the perilous times that we're coming to, that we're already into. We're in it now. It ain't coming no more. We ain't gonna talk about it coming. We're in it. We can only talk about the worst things coming now.
I was just gonna say, in Job, that's why it's such a. It was almost like a foreshadow of the cross that later down the line, the men of the Lord would have to carry. And we have to go through this similar afflictions, man, taking losses, sacrifices, uncomfortable situations. You know, being tempted in the flesh, dealing with weakness.
Outside dealt with all that too.
He dealt with all that, man. He dealt with all that, but he said that there was going to be a reward coming afterwards. Even when they said, you know, we forsaken all, what we going to get for this? And the Lord told him, well, hey, if you continue with me in the regeneration, this is what you're going to get. You're going to receive everything that you lost, but you're going to get it tenfold, man. You know? You're gonna be restored, hey, because Yahweh Shai, he's the one that's gonna bring the restitution. You see? That's why it's a privilege to suffer for him. Because he's gonna compensate you for suffering for him. See?
Compensation, said Romans, far greater than the sacrifices that you got. You up right there?
Romans 8, starting at 16. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High.
We're the ones that's going through the chastisement at this time. We're the ones that's feeding the sheep and feeding the lambs. We're the ones going through the things that Yahushua went through and counting the joy when we go through these bad situations. Man, they're numerous, man. All to prove that our faith won't be shaken. You know, if your faith, you know, some people don't need a big drawn out lesson to get their faith on 10 or on 100 or whatever, you know. But some people need a few more lessons. You know, so you go through more and more, but it's all to build you up to where the Most High needs you to be, to have your proper measure of faith. You got it, right?
Verse 17. And if children, then heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may also be glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
I'm sorry, bro. Hit that last verse one time.
Verse 18. It says, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
Hey, man, so just take this, man. This is a light affliction, man, compared to what the other people going to take. But more so, the glory that you get is far exceeding more than the sufferings that you have to deal with. You know? Because the glory that the 2/3 get is going to be pretty good, man. It's going to be really good. But they have to know it and get it after death by pain. It's going to make it a little bittersweet. But for us, as it's bitter now, it's going to be everlastingly sweet to go through that process. To see our hand, to have our hand around our enemies' necks. The Most High going to give them those type of extra delights that the 2/3 don't get.
Kind of like you said, like purging the rebels. Every bird got to wake up in the kingdom and still have that everlasting shame and contempt.
Yeah.
You know, the elect don't have to go through that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of privileges